What up, guys? It's your boy JB here with another Creep Fest. 10 real life cursed creepy objects. Thankfully, most of us will not have to worry about this because we will not be able to afford many of the things on this list. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you don't, I will murder your family. So in at number 1, we have the Conjure Chest. Jacob Cooley, a slave owner in antebellum Kentucky, wanted a chest made for his new child, which he assumed would be a son. He told his slave Hosea what he wanted, and Hosea set to work. Upon its completion, however, Cooley decided the chest wasn't what he asked for, and in a rage he beat Hosea to death. The other slaves on Cooley's plantation were so angered by his act of cruelty that they convinced their conjure man to place a death curse on the chest of drawers, which Cooley had gifted to his son, despite his insistence that it was not what he wanted. Cooley's firstborn son was the first to die of the curse, followed by his second-born son. It is reported that a full 16 members and descendants of Cooley's family have died from the cursed chest, which now resides in a museum in Kentucky. 2. The women from Lemm Statue. So this picture, limestone female figurine, Lemberlachus, 3000 to 2500 BC. It took less than 120 years for this statue, which was unearthed in 1878 in the village of Lemm, to kill its way across Europe. In fact, while it was originally called the Women from Lemm, it has taken on the much more sinister name of Goddess of Death. Entire families fell to the power of this dark goddess, and yet she would somehow find her way into another home with another victim pool waiting to be picked off one at a time. That is until 2 sons left behind after Sir Alan Beaverbrook, his wife and his 2 daughters all died, decided to donate the statue to a museum. It's now sat behind thick glass for many years without further kills, and is believed that it is only because no one has been able to physically touch it in that time. 3. Letta the Romini doll. Move over Annabelle and Robert the doll. Letta was made by a Romani man for his son. Unfortunately, the boy drowned shortly after receiving it. It wasn't long before strange things began happening around the doll, and the Romani man and his family became convinced that his dead son had possessed it. Among other claims about the doll, it is said to have a human pulse and causes rain when taken outside. Letta made people feel a heavy grief when they come into contact with her. She also seems to compel people to keep her nearby. Creepy. 4. Rudolph Valentino's ring. So this picture, Rudolph Valentino in Motion Picture Classic, November 1920, from an article about his upcoming role as Julio Desnoyers in The 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. It's said that silent actor Rudolph Valentino purchased a fancy ring in the 1920s to celebrate his success, and upon showing it to a friend, they had a vision of Valentino as a corpse. Almost immediately following this event, Valentino's luck started to go bad in his career and in his death. He passed away soon after. 5. Belcourt Castle chairs. Belcourt Castle in Newport, Rhode Island, was founded by Oliver Hazard Perry Belmont, a wealthy American socialite and politician, in 1894. Newport is one of the oldest towns in the United States. Settled in 1690 by the 20th century, the seaport town had become a hot summer destination for some of America's wealthiest families. The mansions of Newport are legendary, as are the many ghost stories that accompany the buildings. There are many different hauntings within Belcourt Castle, but perhaps the most famous haunted objects in the castle are two chairs that reportedly have spirits attached to them. People who sit in the chairs say they immediately feel cold, queasy and uncomfortable. Their hands feel like they are being pricked by static electricity when held near the chairs, and many people have claimed that they have felt like they are sitting on someone. Several visitors have also claimed that they were ejected out of the seat by an unseen force. 6. The Hope Diamond. Formed approximately 1.1 billion years ago, this gem is worth close to 143 to 178 million pounds. Known as the King's Jewel, this precious gemstone has travelled the world and changed hands amongst the wealthy. One of the most popular tales about its origin involves a man named Tavernier, who is believed to have plucked the diamond from the forehead of a Hindu statue. He sold the artifact to King Louis XIV, but was later torn apart by wild dogs on a trip to Constantinople. Many victims are said to have suffered misfortune from the doomed gemstone, from suicide to incarceration to divorce and dead children. The diamond now resides in the Smithsonian Natural History Museum. 7. The Iceman. Also known as Otzi, the Iceman was discovered in September 1991 in Italy. The Iceman is a mummy of a man thought to have lived around 3300 BCE. The glacier surrounded the corpse and preserved the body. However, after it was found, rumours of a curse followed those linked to popsicle remains. 7 deaths have been tied to Iceman's discovery. Rainer Henn, the forensic pathologist who studied the find, died in a car accident just before giving a speech about the mummified remains, while Helmut Simon, the man who discovered Iceman, fell 100 metres to his death while hiking in the Austrian Alps. 8. James Dean's car. James Dean was all about his customised 1955 Porsche Spider, calling it his little bastard, and a bastard it was. When Sir Alec Guinness saw the car, he could sense the evil and told him that he'd be dead in a week. A week later, Dean had his fatal accident. Then when the wreck was brought to the mechanics, it fell on one of them, crushing his legs. When the car's new owner sold the engine and drivetrain to 2 racers, one lost control and hit a tree, dying instantly. The other was injured when his car locked up and he rolled it. It didn't stop there. A thief who tried to steal parts of the remaining wreck was fatally injured. The car was then donated to a safety exhibit of the California Highway Patrol. Soon after, the exhibit caught fire. They tried it again, only this time the wreck fell on a student, breaking his hip. Finally, a truck driver who was transporting the wreck to the exhibit was found crushed to death somehow by the wreck. Thankfully, no one knows where it is now. 9. The phone number +359 888 888 888. A cursed phone number may sound ridiculous, but 3 people who have owned it since 2000 have all ended up dead due to unnatural causes. 1 got a brain tumour, and the other 2 were murdered. The communications company that owns the number has currently suspended it from being used without a concrete explanation as to why. 9. The phone number +359 888 888 888. A cursed phone number may sound ridiculous, but 3 people who have owned it since 2000 have all ended up dead due to unnatural causes. 1 got a brain tumour, and the other 2 were murdered. The communications company that owns the number has currently suspended it from being used without a concrete explanation as to why. 10. The Cursed Rocks of Gettysburg National Military Park. It is important to remember that removing rocks from the park is a violation of Chapter 36 of the Code of Federal Regulations. Section 2.1a prohibits possessing, destroying, injuring, defacing, removing, digging, or disturbing from its natural state a mineral resource or cave formation or the parts thereof. If these individuals are caught in the act, they will be cited and fined $100 plus a $30 processing fee. Hope you enjoyed this list, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button, put your comments in the section below. Got more great content planned for this year. Thank you so much to my subscribers. You're awesome. See you later.